Some thoughts and maxims. I've only 20 minutes, so I've rushed through this. I hope I'm covering the right thing. Some thoughts and maxims that helps me and helps us run our business. And these are some things and sort of rules that help guide us, a bit like division. This is a quote from a restaurateur in New York. He's a guy called Danny Myers. He owns a lot of restaurants in New York. One of them is his first restaurant was Union Square Cafe. He owns Gramercy Tavern. He does all the restaurants in the Museum of Modern Art and a few others, all different. And this actually applies for Northern Ireland to me. But he says people will come for what they see, but they will return for how they're made to feel. And this is what I try to drive into our staff. It's all about, and this is why the staff are so important. Good staff can overcome a bad meal. But a bad meal, the best meal in the world with bad staff is still a bad experience. Things will go wrong. Nobody in our industry goes out to serve customers a bad meal, but it does happen. There's a lot of moving parts. It's how it's cooked, it's a product we bought, is the chef sick, is he been let down by somebody's team? So many things can go wrong because there are so many parts. So at times things will go wrong. But good staff can overcome a bad meal, but the best meal in the world with bad staff is still a bad experience. So it is all about how we make our customers feel, how we make them feel important, how we let them know that they are important to us. Another thing that Danny Myers talks about is always write the last chapter. As I said to you, things can go wrong. Always write the last chapter. Never let your customer leave unhappy. He gives a great example in one of his books. He says, there was once, sometimes you can't satisfy people in the night. You can do your best, but we're 4 people, and he did everything he could within his power to try and fix what went wrong. He said, you're absolutely right. Things weren't to the standards they should have been. He tried to fix it, but he was getting nowhere. But as he put their coats on at the front door, he said, I just want to say one more thing. I want you to remember I would have done anything within reason tonight to fix what went wrong. He says, someday people will be talking to someone and say, when Danny Myers restaurant and got a bad experience, that person will say, what did Myers say? And he'll say, he says he would have done anything within reason to fix it. I would have written the last chapter. So that's important. What I've talked about there is, that's the difference between hospitality and service for me. A few years ago in Northern Ireland, if you had good service, you had an advantage because the level of service was so poor. So if you had good service, you stood out. Despite what the media tell you, I do not believe that you get bad service in Northern Ireland now. I'd say 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 when I'm out, I get good service. Just see you've been shopping today if you bought something nice, or it's nice to see you again, how's your mother? That's hospitality, and that's where it has to be. That's where it's going to. We don't want to be served by quiet waiters and waitresses anymore. We want to be served by James and Marys and so on and so forth. And I think that's important, and we're trying to drive that into our guys. So I speak very openly to them whenever they join the company. I don't want to know about their tips, because if I do and someone asks me, I want to be able to say, I don't know. But I do say very open to them, at their first session, their very first session, you should not be in this industry if you're not thinking about tips. You can make big money if you think about tips. And that suits me, because if they're earning big money, they're giving good service, which is what I want. I'd be delighted if some of my waiters earn more than me. This will be cool to like. If you want to know what excellence is, ask your excellent people. I read that in a book called First Break All the Rules. And it struck a chord with me because, again, having worked in Guinness, I used to get a performance review every year. And I never signed any. And the reason why I never signed any was all year I was great. You're great. You're doing a brilliant job. And then it came performance review and I scored 3 on a scale of 5. I used to say, but I've been great all year. But 3's good now. It says 3's good. The reason I did 3 was that affected my salary increase. So I always refused to sign it. So the whole performance review thing became a negative experience for me. And yet it should be a very positive experience, And everybody in our company, by the way, gets a performance review. Everybody should get a performance review, from the guys cleaning the pots in the kitchen right through to me. Everybody should get a performance review, and it should be a positive experience. It should be your opportunity to sit down in one-on-one and talk about you and how you can develop. So I read this quote and I worked it out how to do it. So what we did was we brought in our excellent people and we asked them, what makes you excellent? So we brought in our bar people, brought in our waiters, brought them into a room. It was a wee bit awkward, at the start the guys were a bit on the best now, but once we had the conversation going, from that we produced a job profile for every role. So now when I'm doing somebody's performance review, I can do a barman and can say, here's a role profile, here's a job profile that your peers say makes a great barman. And you take it away, tell me where you think you're good, where you could be better. I'll do the same, we'll have a conversation. That's the way it now works. And we don't score people. So it is a conversation about a role profile that their peers have said makes an excellent bar person, an excellent waiter, or an excellent security man, whatever it might be. We've only 3 scores in our company. First is, You're doing great, you're only through the door, but you will be a valuable member of our team. You are a valuable member of our team, or you're not good enough to work with us. And tell the people between the eyes, you're not good enough to work with us. I learned that from a young lad who used to work with us, Barry. And Barry applied a few times to be a supervisor, and he didn't get the job. The managers wouldn't give him the job because Barry's other downside was he couldn't shut up. You know, he was always talking, nobody could stick him. But that was wrong. He should have got the supervisor's job. He didn't get it. I heard he was leaving. I went to talk to him, but it was too late. But one thing he said to me struck a chord. He said to me, I've worked here for 4 years. He says, I don't want to see anybody sacked, but the people in here aren't good enough to work with me, and you've done nothing about it. And that's why we now tell people, you're not good enough to work with this, because it's not a reflection of those people. It's a reflection of me and the management team. The other people aren't saying, that boy's no good. They're looking up and saying, these boys should know he's no good, what are they going to do about it? They're not doing anything, so therefore it's a failure of management, not on the person who isn't good enough. So, but anyway, that's ask your excellent people. I like that one. The most powerful answer a manager can give is, and this isn't out of a book, this is just me. I don't know, what do you think? People, and this is important because people will try and pass the buck. So first of all, don't take the monkey. That's the first thing. But that's not the main reason for this. The main reason for this is if people make the decisions themselves, they will be passionate about that decision. I try not to make any decisions, and yet I try to be involved in them all. You know, and I know how my managers work, and I flex my style to sit down. Jerry in the bot, he's a thinker. He's a wee dog. He likes to walk it. You know, you can't go in a meeting and say, Jerry, we're going to talk about this now. Come out with a decision. You have to drop an idea. And then a week or two later, Jerry will come back and say, I was thinking about this here, and here's what I'm going to do. Because I've walked the dog up down the towpath. Take time to think about it. Other people are different. You've got to flex your style, but you've got to push it back on them. Because they know the answer already. They're just looking for reassurance from you. Then they'll tell you the answer. You say, you know what, that's exactly right. And you see, we do this as well, it'll be even better. And then they'll go and do it, be more passionate about it. They'll want it to succeed, and then you'll have the chance to praise them at a later stage and say, that was brilliant, such and such came along with this idea, they've done it, and it's worked well done. So it's important, give people the opportunity, they already know the answer. This takes me on to the next bit, you know, trust your people. 9 times out of 10 they will surpass your expectations. We all worry too much about people's capabilities. There are people who are managers in our company now who, without any disrespect to Jazz, would never be managers before because they didn't fit the profile that he saw. But they're managers now and they're excellent. So 9 times, give people a chance, let them do it. 9 times out of 10 they will surpass your expectations. This is a wee pet hate for me, one that I always put in. The quality of our industry in Northern Ireland is as good as anywhere else in the world. I hate this mainland conversation up here, not from a political point of view, but as if we're some backward island. I hate the phrase mainland. I always correct people when they're about mainland. This is mainland. And our industry here is as good as any industry anywhere in the world. Currently, Botanic Inns is UK Pub Company of the Year. We beat companies from London. London's one of the top cities in the world. That's the level we're playing at. We're down to world-class level. So, you know, in Northern Ireland, this thing about false modesty, if you're excellent, don't be afraid to say it. If you're good, say you're good. You know, don't be afraid to be good. No I in team is another great saying that you've heard a lot. And when I'm talking to my own people, I have a stronger word there. I usually have a stronger word than rubbish, but it is rubbish. Teams should be made up of individuals. You know, you need people with different skills. Again, back in my days, performance reviews and Guinness, you would identify your weaknesses and go to work on them. Why? You know, identify the strengths and use them. You know, and again, I've seen some of my managers doing it. You know, such and such isn't good in the office, so I'm putting them on a computer course. That's it. They're good on the floor. I know, but they can't do the office. But get somebody else who can do the office. Those boys are good on the floor. Use their strengths. Use people's strengths. Alex Ferguson back in never ever trained Gary Neville how to take penalties. Yeah, we really need to do that. You know, so concentrate on people's strengths and put teams together. And that's again what we try to do when we're thinking about who's the general manager going to be, who's the assistant manager. We try to put people together who would complement each other, and so that the team as a whole is better. So it should be different individuals with different skills making 2 and 2 equal 5 again. And managers should manage their people. Don't try and do it all yourself. Let your people make mistakes. Be prepared to accept the job 80% done. Not easy to do if you're a perfectionist like me, but be prepared to accept 80% done. 10 jobs done at 80% is better than 1 at 100%. So, and your people will improve as they go on. An old one, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, but in truth, cash flow is reality now. That's what it's all about. It's all about measuring your cash flow. And again, in our industry, that's really important. Because 2/5 of our profit, maybe sometimes 3/5 could be in December. John's telling me I have to hurry on. Alright, Kevin, sorry, it's coming after her. And this is the last one you're glad to hear. If you're given bad news, give it on a Tuesday. Too often, in Guinness, when people were being told and made redundant Friday afternoon, brought in Friday afternoon, manager went in the car and away. I was actually told strangely by Jazz in August. He told me that I was eventually told officially in November that I was getting made redundant. But Jazz told me in August, as somebody had told him, we told him, so that's how I found out. Why give it on a Tuesday? Because, you will have to give bad news at times, but at least it gives the people time to empathise with their work colleagues. Friday afternoon, they're going home to their partners. The partner will go, what did you do wrong? It's a lot of pressure to take. Give them time, let them be with people who know and understand the issues that they're facing. Be there, give them the chance to come back to face you, don't run away from them. So give them bad news, always give it the Tuesday. It lets people in, at least be with their work colleagues, be in an environment where people can sympathise and understand what they're going through. It also gives them a chance to face you, and also shows you're not afraid to get the bad news. So give it on the Tuesday. And there you are. Hospitality is all about having fun. This is just to remind us that work is work, but life's bigger. And in the middle there's me doing my one and only ever bungee jump. And I ain't gonna happen again. Never. Thank you.